Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nettie Owens. This series is what businesses need to know right now. And I've brought Pete Schramm with me today. He's a guy you're going to want to know. Welcome, Pete. I'm so glad to have you.
Nettie, thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here and look forward to digging into everything with you today.
So I am as well. And Pete's the founder of Lattice, which we're going to get into what Lattice is and the work that you're doing with that. We're going to first start with telling people a little bit about you. And I'll be honest, you dropped a lot of words. You've done so much in such a short time. And really touched a lot of people across many different fields from, as you were sharing before, from the farm to your athletic career to engineering and now as a software developer and the technology that you're putting out. You've really hit on a number of different worlds. And I'm curious, what is the common thread? What has allowed you to cross over so many different areas?
So people. I grew up on the farm right outside of Pittsburgh, and my parents always taught me that our purpose in life is to better the lives of those around us. And I didn't really understand how I could accomplish that by working on the farm. But then I found out that my true passion was bringing others together and helping them find, build, and achieve their dreams, to cultivate those connections and establish relationships to ignite performance and that fire inside of them. It's a little bit different for each person. So I'm a people person. I'm very energetic individual, and I get fired up when those around me are succeeding and kind of having those aha moments.
I think that's where the two of us really come together, is just getting so excited when others succeed. It's part of why we have this series here, this interview series, is to provide those insights and those little tidbits that business owners might not already have, even though they're doing their thing and they're doing it well. You know, what are the pieces that they're missing, and how can we provide them to help them succeed faster, better, or for longer? So let's dig in here a little bit. You mentioned cultivating connections, and I'm curious, from your perspective, what do we as business owners need to be focusing on in order to develop those connections, in order to cultivate connections?
Yeah, so if we think about, we have a business, if it's 5 people or 500,000 people at our company, without our employees, without our team members, we cannot execute the work, we can't accomplish it. And then whenever we look at, kind of our balance sheet, what's the biggest line item on there? Our salaries and our people in most instances, right? So let's make sure that we take care of our people. And whenever we think about how to do that, you have to lead by example. So if I'm going to walk the walk, I got to talk the talk as well, and backwards as well, right? So if I say it's important to take care of one another, then do that. If I say it's important to, learn and engage and share information and have this culture of cohesive collaboration, I, as a leader of the organization, need to make sure that I'm doing this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And there's something that some of the executives at Walt Disney World used to talk about. I read a book a few years ago, and they would never walk past a piece of garbage on the street at Walt Disney World. Because if any of the other, I think they call them cast members, right? If they would ever see one of the leaders walk past a piece of trash, then they'd say, oh, it's okay if I walk past that piece of trash myself. So again, it's important to lead by example, because you never know who's watching, and it's always important to do the right thing. So by taking care of your people, we're able to, sort of lay that foundation for everything else to take place from there.
Excellent. And I think that's something that can be difficult when you are busy growing a business, leading so many people. It can be easy to forget that if we do not exemplify the qualities that we're asking our team members to display as well, then it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard for them to step into those roles. So to this end, you've created software. Basically, you've created a way, a tool for people to help cultivate their people, to cultivate connections, to cultivate leadership. So what inspired you to take that step and develop that tool? And what is it?
Yeah, so the tool is called Lattice, and I also want to just do one clarification. I am not a software developer. That was one of the biggest compliments that you could give me. There's a lot of really, really smart people around me and throughout the Lattice organization that developed the code, but I couldn't personally code my way out of a shoebox. So a lot of things around the peripheral there. So Lattice came to be in March of 2018 because, again, growing up on the farm, I loved connecting people. And throughout my academic career, studying mechanical engineering, my kind of traveling career, studying abroad in Hong Kong, meeting people from all over the world, athletic career, playing sports all over the country and playing sports in Hong Kong as well. And then into the professional world, right? Working at Lockheed Martin, I realized that the power of people helping people can really kind of springboard you personally and professionally, right? Sometimes you need a mentor, an ally, a sponsor, an accountability partner, somebody to just get some insight or perspective from. And it's tough to find those individuals. I don't always know what people want to talk about. I don't know who's willing and able to have this conversation with me. I don't know if they're going to accept my friend request or reply to my message. And I don't really know how to track those conversations over time. So, Nettie, I'm a big notebook person. But sometimes I have to go back and say, shoot, when's the last time I talked to Nettie? What do we talk about? So there's not really a great way to do this. And there's plenty of tools out there that started, this process of connection. So, this was something I was struggling with throughout my teens, early 20s. And then in 2018, I decided, hey, I'm having one or two of these conversations a day, and I don't have enough, time to help everybody. I don't know all the answers. We got to solve this problem. And it's going to look something like making it easier to connect and store your interest of what you want to talk about, to learn and to teach. We're not single dimensional individuals. And it takes LinkedIn to the next level because that shows where I worked and what I studied and where I studied. Me, I studied mechanical engineering twice. I don't really want to talk to people about mechanical engineering at the top of my list. Prime example. So March 4th, 2018, I drew a line in the sand and started this company. At that time, I didn't know what it was going to be called. I didn't know, how to, start this company, but there was a gap that needed to be filled whenever it came to bringing our people together in a meaningful, intentional, easy to use manner.
Well, and I love that so much focuses on that relationship development here. This isn't a sales tool. It's really for building relationships, and being able to get the resources that you need when you need them. So one of the things that you just mentioned in here was you mentioned a number of aspects that or qualities that could be gleaned from these conversations: accountability, getting your questions answered. But you talked about mentorship. So tell me, in your mind, what is mentorship? How do you see that? Where would you apply it?
Yeah, so mentorship is kind of sharing insights, perspectives, and experiences, and this ongoing relationship of somebody with more experience sharing it to and handing it off to somebody with less experience. So notice I said experience, not age, right? I can have a mentor that's younger than me age wise. I can have a mentor that's older than me age wise. But most importantly, mentorship is not one size fits all, right? So these are people that are invested in you. They've been in your shoes before, right? And they want to see you succeed. Oprah says that, a mentor is somebody that helps you see the hope inside of yourself,
Mm.
right? So they are not going to create us in their image. So, Nettie and Pete are having a mentoring relationship. The idea is not for Nettie to create, Pete and form him into another Nettie. No, but to say, hey, Pete, it seems like this is where you want to go. Try this, don't try that, right? And guide them. Think of it like you're on a path in the jungle or something, right? If you don't have a guide, maybe you can make it to where you need to go at some point. It'll take you a little bit longer. You might have a few, you fall down a few more times along the way, might take a few wrong turns, but you could get there. When the guide comes in, your mentor comes in, they say, hey, let's take this path. They're not going to make your life easy. It's not going to guarantee automatic success. And it's not going to snap your fingers and you're at the top of the mountain or the other side of the jungle, but it's a way to make your life easier. And again, going back to those relationships, it's more than, what you know, it's also who you know. So my
Mm.
mission is to find the who and learn the what. It's not an either or, it's a both.
Excellent. Well, this has been fascinating, Pete. It's so good to talk to you. And if you would like to connect with Pete further, he's invited you to just reach out to info@lattice.com. Any conversations that you have around cultivating relationships, connections, mentorship, or any more about how to build this within your own organization, reach out and give Pete a call or an email here. And if you enjoyed this conversation, which I hope you did, then I would encourage you to check out our other conversations and to text FREEDOM to 411321, which will give you access to our How to Succeed in Business guide. And I hope you'll take a moment to see how that might work for your business. Thank you so much, Pete. It's been great having you on.
Thanks, Nettie.